Hey guys, Steven Martinez with The American Dream. I just want to say a big thanks to all our supporters and fans. It's because of you guys that we're able to keep growing. Having said that, please don't forget to follow and subscribe. It means a lot to us. That's what helps us keep growing. And also, I hope you guys enjoy the next episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The American Dream podcast. I'm here with a very special guest, my brother, Bostick, CEO and owner of Abba Claims. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming. I know it's kind of late notice, but I appreciate you driving from Dallas.
Oh, we made it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't miss it.
So for people that don't know chess, and you kind of have to sum up, I guess, a little bit of an overview of your life, how would you describe, from how you started to where you are now and exactly what you do?
Well, I started out years ago. I was a railroad engineer. Engineer. I drove trains, and we would be playing golf in my spare time, and for some reason I had a burning desire. I thought I needed to get into sales somehow or another. So believe it or not, I stopped being an engineer and I tried to get into sales, and I got into selling insurance, life insurance and health insurance and that type of stuff. I didn't enjoy that at all. And then I had one of my buddies, probably 1996, 97, 96, I think. He became a public adjuster, he became an insurance adjuster. And I thought, well, that sounds interesting. And when I was in the insurance business, I had to go and sell. I did estate planning, life insurance, mutual funds, all of that for farmers and ranchers. And basically what I was having to do was talk them out of their insurance policy to buy mine. And I didn't like that. It just didn't click. And then one day I was talking to him. He was telling me about insurance adjusting, and I had a light bulb moment go off in my brain. I thought, you know what? That would be real fun. I would like to do that. I could do it. And so, make a long story short, I started studying for that, got my adjuster's license, and became an independent adjuster in 1997 and started working storms up in Minnesota, my very first job. And so I loved it. It was totally different than what I was used to at that time. I wasn't having to ask people for money. I was writing people checks, and I felt like I was really helping. Back in the day, back then, we could really go out and assess a claim. We could write a check on the spot. So I found a lot of satisfaction in that, truly helping people, put them back to where they should be. So I became an independent adjuster, then worked all these hurricanes and storms that came along, and in 2006 is when I originally got my public adjuster's license. I met some PAs in Florida working hurricanes, and I thought, that's interesting as well. And so I wanted to help. I wanted to bring value to our industry, and I didn't know much about it back then. I really don't know a whole lot about it now because there's so much to learn, but I came, and then we started a PA firm in 2013. So we find a lot of satisfaction helping people. We know there's a lot going on in our industry, and we just want to make it better.
Amazing. So let me ask you a question. I know we're both in the blue collar space, specifically in the roofing area for the most part.
Right.
So, I've heard from contractors, they're like, man, I don't need a PA. Why give them 10%? What's the point in that?
Right.
So I guess what's your rebuttal in terms as to why it's so beneficial for a contractor to work with a public adjuster?
Well, I believe, and I think that if we stay in our lane, and I don't mean that because they're roofers and we're public adjusters, but that's what they do. Contractors are contractors, and we need each other. I feel like we need each other, and we're all about bringing our industry together and working together. Contractors need a public adjuster because we have the expertise on the policy side. We can talk policy. We can do some things that they can't do. And at the same time, contractors are really good and can do things that we can't do. So we can't do what they do. They can't do what we do. And I tell the contractors that we speak with and work with, they get it when they know that if they keep selling jobs, building jobs, collecting their money, and doing that over and over and over again, instead of having someone be the adjuster in their office and work on supplements and have to deal with the insurance company on a daily basis. We can do that better than they can, and they can be contractors better than we can. So we feel like it's a value that we could add to their business, and they add value to ours. So it's about value. We want to bring value to them, and that's where it's at.
And so for someone that, they're brand new to the industry, they started on their own roofing company, and they're kind of like, I've heard of this term, a PA, a public adjuster.
Right.
How would you explain it to them? What exactly is a public adjuster, and what is their role?
Well, obviously the insurance companies have their contract or their adjusters to go out and represent them, and a lot of people in our industry say that that's where their loyalty is. Well, it should be, and that's where. But in these adjusters, they especially when they're brand new, roofing company owners, when they're brand new, you don't know all the intricacies about a claim and what the process takes and really what to do along the way to get a claim paid. So. It's invaluable for them to use someone just like we use experts. We use weather experts, we use forensic scientists, we use all of that. We don't know how to do that stuff, so we have to depend on surrounding ourselves with really good people that know what we don't know. And like I said when we were chatting before, at this point in our industry, the way things evolve and the way things change, I don't know if any of us know a whole lot about any of it right now. I mean, because it changes so quick, and we're learning all the time.
So in regards to ABBA claims, how did you get started with that?
Well, after my experience working hurricanes and in the early 2000s and all of that, we just wanted to help our industry and help learn, because we recognize that even on, people in our industry, we talk to roofers and public adjusters and that type of thing, and we hear the stuff about how carriers do this and carriers don't do this right, and whatever. It's that way on both sides of in our industry. So we want to bring a value and something for the policyholder to have an advocate to where we can help them, get their claims paid. There's a lot of folks still don't even know about a public adjuster and what we can do for them, but we just kind of want to level the playing field. Give them an advocate, give them someone, and every claim doesn't need a public adjuster. Some of these claims can be handled and the insurance companies will pay those properly, but there's a lot, especially the larger loss stuff, that's when you need help, especially as a new contractor.
And for ABBA claims itself, where are you guys based out of? Texas, or are you guys nationwide?
Well, we're based out of Dallas, Texas. We're in DFW, but we have someone down here in South Texas. We service the whole state. We do appraisal files across the country. So there's two different ways to go about settling the claim, either public adjuster route or the route, and then also you can go down the path of doing appraisal, and it depends on the situation, the policy, and there's a lot of factors nowadays on which way is best to go. But we'll evaluate that and let the people know what we can do to help them.
So let me ask you a question. So you operate one of the most successful public adjusting firms. So congratulations, by the way, on that.
Thank you.
I guess for me to pick your business brain a little bit, how was the start up on that when you first created your firm and you went from one employee to X? What was the whole process in itself? The challenges, I guess.
It by the seat of my pants. That's the truth.
Yeah.
We started out just like everybody else does. We started out small. We're still small. We've only got we've always had less than 10 people. We're not really interested in building a big corporate conglomerate, but just doing what we do. We started out, and I thought this was going to be, and I had a great experience. Of one of the very first claims I ever worked. Like the second or third claim I ever worked was for the football coach Barry Switzer, right? It was his son-in-law up in Norman, Oklahoma. I got called, and they had a beautiful home they were building. It turned out to be a $750,000 water loss because a pipe burst on the weekend and ran all weekend long. So I thought, hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The second claim I ever worked was almost $1 million. So
wow.
But we started small and just started helping people and learning as much as we could. And fortunately, we talked about mentors earlier, and before you and I have great mentors along the way that have helped us. And I've been fortunate enough to work with some of the very best engineers and public adjusters and appraisers in the world. Wow. So I feel a lot of gratitude for that.
What did these mentors exactly teach you in that area, aside from the PA stuff? Was it more on like self-development?
It was, to me, it's more about staying in your lane, protecting yourself. We've got a, and this doesn't need to sound negative at all, but we've got a very litigious society nowadays. I mean, everybody's looking at ways to sue people, right? I mean, the insurance claims business in the last 10 years has gone nuts. So it's more about, really what it boils down to is integrity. Is keep your integrity, always do the right thing, follow the rules, don't stray, don't do something that's going to get you in trouble. Just always go with your heart, go with your gut. Don't cross that line. And you know, fortunately, we've that's the way we operate, and it pays off. It does.
And for you, I guess you as an entrepreneur and a business owner, whenever you were young, what kind of sparked that entrepreneurship inside you?
I don't know. My brothers and I have always had it. We're all three entrepreneurs. My middle brother, actually no, the youngest brother. I mean, he's been looking for stuff. You know, always researching being an entrepreneur, and we always turned out to be that. We mowed lawns when we were young. You know. And so I don't know what happened. Our parents weren't entrepreneurs, but for some reason we all turned out to be entrepreneurs and own our own business. And so I think it's all about being your own boss. I mean, just the old cliches: being your own boss, making your own money, chasing that American dream. Hey, you know, and trying to build something that's successful.
So for ABBA claims, I know you guys started off small and you guys started to branch out. How important is it for a business owner? Because you mentioned integrity, and I think that's something very valuable for someone to understand, because we're in an industry where integrity, it's hit or miss, right?
Well, yeah, it's on the table every day in our industry.
So how important is it for integrity, I guess, the way you guys operate, you know, being honest, serving the client, serving the contractor? Do you think that's key for a PA to provide that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and people say, well, where's the line? You know what I'm saying? Where's the line? Where do you cross and where can you not cross? And the way we look at it, and we deal in our industry right now, we're going out there and dealing with insurance companies who've got all the money, right? And we're trying to get just a little bit of that money for our clients, and we're trying to get this to be a win-win situation for everyone. It's a win-win situation for the client because their claim gets paid properly, and it's a win-win situation for the carrier because their client gets taken care of. Okay, but somehow or another it's gotten all askew over the last few years. So what we look at as far as integrity in our business is if, for example, public adjusters, insurance adjusters, or contractors, or whoever it may be, you don't go and throw a bunch of stuff into a claim and have something sitting there that you can take away or give back to get a claim settled. We don't believe that. We believe that you put the stuff that's in there that needs to be in there, and that's it. Okay? And you know when you're doing wrong. You know when you've crossed that line, because everybody has a heart, everybody has a gut, and we even talk about stupid, simple little things like, have you ever had a car that was older? You're so young, you probably don't even know about a check engine light on the dashboard, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
A little yellow light come on. Do you? Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, of course.
This is probably anyway. You've got a check engine light, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're doing something, if you're writing a claim, if you're dealing with an insurance company, if you're dealing with a person at the convenience store down the street and somebody's dropped some money on the floor, if your check engine light is going off and you feel heavy about that, you know that you're not having integrity. You know you're not doing the right thing. If it feels light, and you know, you just move forward and go do it. I mean, you're good. But as long as it feels heavy, you can ask a question to yourself: Does this feel light? Does this feel heavy? And if it feels heavy, don't do it. Keep your integrity. Always try to do the right thing. Don't just because they've got a lot of money and just because you feel like you're a good negotiator, don't put stuff in your estimates that doesn't belong.
I agree 100%.
You get a reputation.
And so for ABBA claims, what's your projection and plan for, let's say, like the next 5-10 years? What exactly do you want to build with the business?
Well, I'm obviously going to slow down a little bit. I want to do that. I want to bring in new adjusters that teach, that have the same principles that we do, that want to go help people and bring value to them, bring value to these contractors. We want to bring value to all these contracting companies out there that are working in this insurance claims space, and know that we're somebody that they can trust. So we're going to just continue doing what we're doing, and we have no interest. If it happens, it happens, but we have no interest in trying to become the biggest and all that. We just want to be the best, and we want to be known, and we are known for integrity, and I think our name of our company kind of says that.
It does.
Yeah.
So for, I guess, your first year when you established the business, I've asked a lot of people, there's always a lot of hiccups on the first year.
Oh yeah.
For you, what was your kind of like, man, your moment where you're like, man, you know what, this isn't for me, I think I want to give up? Take us through, those moments.
Well, it's all been a learning experience, and with dealing with insurance companies, you always got to wonder who's looking at you, who's thinking this and who's thinking that. And I remember, and I don't remember specific incidents, but I remember times back when I was young and we were doing this, and I thought I made a mistake. I thought I made a mistake. I thought I was going to get sued. I thought this or thought that. You know what? None of that stuff I worried about ever came about. And there was moments where I thought, oh, I don't know if I can do this, but you know what? I always relied and went back on my faith. Always went back. I knew the universe had me. I knew God had me. But then also I had mentors that had my best interests that I could always call and ask them, what to do. So if I did get worried about it, I didn't worry about it long. I could always depend and fall back on, like I said, my faith, and then I had people to talk to that I could get help from. How important for you is faith in your life? Well, I think it's everything. It's everything. There's some people that have or believe in God. There's some people that don't. You can believe in the universe. It doesn't matter. The universe has your back. God's has your back. Both of us, we're infinite beings. When we're born perfect. And then we start screwing it up from that point forward, right? You have a little baby right there. You can see the baby. I mean, they're perfect.
Yeah.
And then we start projecting all of our thoughts and our beliefs and all that stuff on these babies. And by the time we're 5 or 6, we've got them really, we've got them going down a road. We don't even know where we've got them going. It could be good or it could be bad. Depends on, what they're learning from you. But I think it's everything. It's everything. That's really what I was talking about, that check engine light. That's the universe talking to you. That's God talking to you, telling you, do it or don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's everything. It's everything.
And then for family, is family important to you as well, or?
Yes. Yeah, family is important. We look at that a little bit different. I look at that a little bit different. There's a lot of people that don't like going to Thanksgiving, right? Because it's their family. Some of the people, they don't want to be around them. So, you could be considered, to me, you could be considered part of my family as easy as one of my children. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily mean blood, but to me, it does mean, who are the people that have my back? Who are the people that truly love me? Who are the people that want to help me? Who are the people that want to receive my help? You know what I'm saying? With no strings attached. There's no strings attached with anybody.
How important, you had a good point there, how important is it for you to surround yourself with the right people, just in general?
It's everything. We try to surround ourselves with people that, think like we do, that can do the things that I can't do, that I don't want to do at this point in my life. There's a lot of things about this business that I really don't. I've been good at it all along, but at this point, there's things that I'm really better at, and I concentrate on doing those things. The things that I don't like doing anymore, I don't do them. We've got people that would do that, and those people are really good at doing those things, and they're not good at doing what I do. So we want to really pay attention to having people do what they enjoy and when they thrive, and go about it that way. If you don't like what you're doing, it's going to show up pretty quick. You can't fake that very long.
Absolutely. I've had conversations with people too where you might be
It was actually Brent that told me this. He said, let's say, for example, X person you're the creative person, you're the visionary, right? And then you get people that are the who, not the how. So you just delegate stuff to the experts within their area, like the marketing guy, the sales guy, the operations, the admin. I guess my question to you is, let's say if we go back in time, 5-10 years ago to now, the trajectory of business itself in the industry that you're in, has it changed completely?
Yeah.
How so?
It's changed in the way that there's a lot more to it nowadays. There's been so much, so many people come into our industry. There's so many contractors now in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in Texas, even across the country. Roofing is a really popular industry. The claims industry is popular because there's good money in this. There's good ways to make a great living, and so it's changed so much that it takes so much more to get a claim paid nowadays. For whatever reason that is, the carriers know that. I mean, science has become so involved in these claims nowadays. 10 years ago, there's no way in the world that an engineer would have ever been sent out from the insurance company on a $30,000 roofing claim, but they do that nowadays. So we just typically have to play the game. We have to get the engineers. We have to do all of that. It's changed 1,000%.
So if for someone that's new and young, kind of new into the industry per se, and they heard about being a public adjuster and all the benefits and the money that can come with being involved in that, but they have no idea, what they're kind of getting themselves into. What would you, I guess, in quote by quote, like mentor them and tell them, hey, this is what you should do. This is how the process should work.
You said the right thing. They've got to have a mentor. You've got to have a mentor well, first of all, if you've never closed a claim, if you've never worked as an independent adjuster for an insurance company, I don't know how you could get into this business. I don't even know how you could truly do it and survive without getting in trouble, getting sued. You've got to have a good mentor. Now, if you have a good mentor, that would be everything. You've got to learn from the ground up. It's going to take a good 5 years, and you've got to close a lot of claims. So if you're a roofing company or you're a public adjuster or an insurance adjuster wanting to learn this business, you've got to get a mentor, and you got to start working. You ought to consider working for them for free and learning this business. Make it a trade-off. Go help someone and let them teach you, and it's a trade-off. You see what I'm saying? So back in the olden days, people used to barter.
Used to what?
Barter.
Oh, wow.
And they would say, I'll give you this, or I'll do this for you, and you do that for me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They're bartering. So that's the way it would be as an insurance adjuster. Go help somebody and work for them for free, make their life easier, at the same time let them teach you.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the younger generation think everything is handed to them, and the reality of it is, it's not. And if someone who's successful and worth, let's say 10, 20 mil, they're not really gaining anything from if anything, they're actually wasting their time and energy trying to help you out. So I agree 100% on that, trying to provide value for free, because then that's where the interchange kind of happens.
Exactly.
I remember, I don't know if have you met Tommy Mello?
Who?
Tommy Mello.
I've heard the name. I don't
So he's a really big player in the garage space. So we went to dinner one time, and successful people tend to always pay the tab, right? So I'm the guy that, I want to stand out and make a first impression on this guy because he's a genius. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the restroom, excuse me. And then I go find the waiter. Hey, just put on my tab, close it out. And he hasn't forgotten about that one detail, that one impression that left a mark forever.
That's good.
And then that's where we started that friendship. And I think it's important for the younger generation to understand, if I can provide value to you, you can give me your knowledge and expertise, and then we can start to create a beneficial relationship. So if anyone wants to, I guess for you in your case, when it came to you getting the mentors, how was your process in that? How did you find them? Did you go out of your way, or?
No, that's a natural progression. My mentor was a public adjuster back in 2005, and I just happened to run into him working Hurricane Charlie claims. And I was very impressed by the estimates that he was giving me and the advice that he was giving me and the feedback. I could tell he knew what he was talking about. And so that's natural. It's a natural I guess you could look for one, and you could, go out there and say, who wants to be my mentor? But to me,
it's tough. Yeah,
that's tough.
I agree.
But it would be better if it just naturally happens. Find somebody that you click with, and find someone that you can get along with, that you're learning from naturally. That's what I would do.
So take us through, so we're kind of going with Abbott Claims, and then you were in the railroad industry. So within, your teens, like you're 15 to 25, where were you in that moment? Because usually that's a moment where you're trying to figure out yourself, trying to find out your passion or your interests. Where were you at within that timeline?
When I was in high school, I played football and baseball, and I had a scholarship offer to play for San Angelo State University in Texas. And at that time, I was a quarterback in high school.
Nice.
Yeah. You can't tell it now, but I was a quarterback, and but I got recruited to play behind the quarterback at San Angelo State. He was All-American, and I was also a punter. So they wanted me to come the first year is to be behind him and be the punter and all that. So I was looking forward to doing that type of thing, and I thought I was an athlete, and I thought I wanted to go that route. But then I got the opportunity. My dad worked for Santa Fe Railroad in Amarillo, and had the opportunity to apply and go to work for Santa Fe as right out of high school. And in 1978, I was going to make $120 a day or something like that, and that was a lot of money back then. So I made the decision not to go to college, and I started working for the railroad. And then in a couple of years, I was a locomotive engineer, and then I really enjoyed that. That was a really cool experience. But then I just had a driving desire to get into business. I guess it was the entrepreneurial stuff come out. But I thought I was going to go to college and play football at first, and I didn't know what I'd do after that. I wasn't thinking too much. But then that opportunity came up, and it was really cool. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to work with the railroad like that and drive trains.
Yeah. So in your opinion, is college important to be successful?
No, not at all. No, you've got to follow your heart. You got to go find something that you love to do. Find something that you love to do. So I think one of the big problems is, and I did it, and I still do it some. I don't have it perfect, and I don't have it mastered, but you can't chase the dollar. You can't chase the dollar. You got to go find what you love to do. Go find what it is. If you're a musician, go play music. If you're an attorney, you really have that desire, go do that. But you can't do everything based on chasing money.
I agree 100%.
You can't do it. You've got to go follow your passion. And people really, a lot of times, don't even know. I thought my passion was to get into sales and be in the insurance, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. But then I found this, and it really connected with me because I was getting to give people money. I wasn't having to ask for it. So, yeah, college to me is not important at all. I guess if you're going to be a doctor and you have a desire to be a heart surgeon, you need to go to school. You need to learn how to do that. But there's a lot of great people out there with great entrepreneurial minds that never went to college.
I agree 100%. I remember one of my mentors told me he went to college as well. He's like, college just teaches you the fancy words.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But when it comes to actual experience and run a business, I mean, you could do an MBA and think that this educational system is going to take you far, but to run a business, you need actual great experience. You need to be plugged in and see how everything operates, and a lot of people don't understand that.
I think young kids these days, coming out of high school, if you were to go to work with someone and you got along with those people and you could learn from those people and you could advance your life and grow and grow and grow, hey, that's better education than college will ever be. So no, to tell some kid, a person that you got to go to college, you got to go, no, I don't agree with that at all.
So then fast forward, so then from the railroad stuff, and then you went into the insurance side, correct?
Correct.
And so if anyone, and you mentioned something which was a great point, you can't just go in and get your own PA firm, right? You always say get the experience first to learn the whole process, and then you start going through the certifications and licenses, correct?
Correct.
So what's that for the certifications and licenses? What's that exactly?
Well, you have to be licensed in our state as a public adjuster or even an independent insurance adjuster. And then the hardest part really is getting your first shot, getting your first deployment. And that's the hardest part about this business. And I was fortunate enough to get a call, and 1997 to go to Minnesota on a big old storm, and fortunately I got to stay there 18 months, which is really rare. There was 2 additional storms that happened while I was there, and so that was a great experience. I learned a lot from the people that were there. That a couple of guys took me under the wings and helped me, and I remember one of the guys kept telling me, "Pay for it, pay for it, pay for it." And once that light bulb went on in my head, hey, I'm going to pay for this. And I knew enough about construction that I could write an estimate, and I just had to learn about the adjusting part. And so I started paying for things, and you couldn't stop me after that. But that's when they let us pay for stuff back then.
So for your business and your operations, for people that are being trained and certified and you want to hire them, what exactly do you look for when you're recruiting people in your firm?
Our mindset right now is do you have your public adjuster's license, and how many claims have you closed? They don't necessarily have to have their public adjuster's license right now, which, we're on the fence about that. But how many claims have you closed? How many opportunities have you really had to dig into this business? Because the insurance companies have their rules, and they have their guidelines that they want their adjusters to abide by. And then on the other side, it's totally opposite. We have our guidelines. We want to do what's right for the client, and so it really takes a lot of experience for someone to come in and know the claims game. Not a lot of people know about insurance policies and how they work and what everything means, and then how to apply those policies to the process of an insurance claim. If you have experience with construction, that will help. Okay, it's going to be almost impossible to come in this industry without some type of construction knowledge to come and try to close claims. So those are the things we look for. How much experience do you have closing claims? What kind of insurance experience do you have on the construction side of it? And then we can teach the application of the policy and those type of things. We can teach that. But those are the 2 most important. Do you know anything about construction, and what do you know about closing claims?
Yep. So for, I guess, your whole trajectory and experiences with the business itself, what was kind of like your worst nightmare when you dealt with one claim? You're like, man, this is not it. How'd you overcome it?
I guess it's probably referring back to what you and I spoke about a minute ago. I don't remember what it was. I think probably 10 years ago. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I didn't do something that I think I should have done. And I thought it was really going to blow up in my face, and I thought it was going to be a big problem. And that was due to my inexperience. It probably wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was. Or it wasn't, because nothing ever came of it. But I would remember for a few days I was almost sick. I felt bad. I didn't think I did the right thing, and it's not that I was doing something ethically wrong. I just didn't. I don't remember what it was, but I remember feeling really bad. And thinking that things were going to go south and we're going to have a problem, but it didn't turn out.
You could take that same concept of life too. If you're young and let's say you make a mistake and then you have that inexperience and then you start to worry, I think it's also really important that you mention that, sometimes just let it go. Don't worry, let God take care of it. At the end of the day, people know your intentions, and if you come with integrity, you're an honest man, man of God, I think everything else just kind of falls with it.
Hey, put it on the altar. Let
absolutely.
it go. Just walk away. You've got the ability. We believe, and we think about it, you've got the ability to change your mind. If you're going down a rabbit hole thinking about something, or you've done something, you've got a problem, quit thinking about it. Ask questions. What can you do to, change your thought process, and think about something else, but put it on the altar and know that, the universe has your back, God's got your back, and everything's going to work out. 99.9% of the stuff we worry about and we are scared of, it doesn't happen anyway. So
I agree 100%.
It's tough, but it's the same time it sounds real simple. But you just got to stay.
I think it's a little tricky dilemma too, especially for the younger crowd. Confidence is a lot. It's a thing and a trait that people lack sometimes. Clearly, you're a man of confidence. How did you get that confidence itself?
It comes with experience. I used to say a long time ago, fake it till you make it. Well, you can only do that a little bit, especially in our industry. We're dealing with a lot of money. We're dealing with insurance companies. We're dealing with attorneys. We're dealing with people's livelihoods. There's a lot of emotion involved in these claims. So, you just got to do the right thing. You got to keep your check engine light off.
So when you were starting your business, was there a balance in your life with, you know, life, family, business, or were you just kind of all in?
When we started back then, no, there was no balance at all. And now there is.
Yeah.
Because we talk about we take time to recharge our batteries. We start most every day, you know, kind of getting quiet, trying to get in that still water, that place of still water, where everything's okay, all is well, you know, nothing's wrong, and ask, what do we need to do today? What does our business need from us today? And the thing about it is, we talked about the check engine light. If your check engine light's going, you're thinking, oh, I got to do this, I got to market, I got to do whatever. That's force, right? You don't want to do action because you think you're going to miss out. You want to do action from being inspired. You want to be inspired to do something, then go do whatever it is you need to do. Maybe you need to go play golf today. Maybe you don't need to go do A, B, and C. Maybe you need to take some time. Maybe you need to go be with your kids. Maybe you need to go be with your wife, take her to dinner or whatever, but only do action if you're inspired. Don't always be a do-do head and doing, and because here's what happens if you think that nothing's going to work out, if you constantly are having to do things, well then if you're not doing anything, well then you know it's all going to fall apart, right? So only do things if you're inspired, and you know God's got your back, it's all going to work out.
Absolutely. No, I love that saying. Where did you, I guess, get that concept of understanding balance for was it like something that happened in life where you were like, man, I need to like press on the brake and focus more on family and faith, or?
Well, it was more about us personally. I mean, my wife, she does the same thing we do. Autumn is an adjuster, and we met back here in Houston actually in 2000, way back when hurricane or tropical storm Allison hit, and she's a great adjuster. And she would work. I mean, if you want anybody on your side, toe to toe, she's the one you want with us. And so we abused ourselves. We worked. But then at some point, you start realizing, hey, you know, we got to do something different. We got to start getting some balance in our lives. We've got to take some time to recharge our batteries. We've got to do something fun. We've got to take care of ourselves. And she really was the instigator of all that. And she still has to stay on me, you know, and help keep everything balanced to where, hey, no, we're not going to do that. We're not, you know, and that goes all the way into whether we're going to take a specific client or not. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make sure that everything for us, hopefully, on a daily basis is easy, and that we have a good time doing it.
How important do you think it is just in life and business to have a significant partner in your life? Would you say your wife helped you a lot within your trajectory? Or?
Oh yeah, it's I guess everybody's different. I'm the type of person that I like being around people. I love having a wife. I think it's great for a lot of people. It's great for me. I don't know about everybody else, but it's great because she's smart. It's great to be able to ask her opinion, bounce things off of her. She'll give me her opinion, and it's invaluable to me. It's invaluable. I wouldn't do it any other way.
Awesome, I love that.
Yeah.
So for anyone, or like I guess a message that you would like for someone to know about your like kind of final statements or anything that you really want to project to the audience, is there anything you would like to tell them?
Yeah, try to not have a point of view about anything.
Open-minded.
Be open-minded. Be open-minded about everything. Be that person that's a true leader. In my mind, that's a true leader. You have no opinions about anything, and you're totally open-minded to everything. So, you know, you can ask questions to yourself. You know, when something bad happens, you can say, hey, how does it get any better than this? You know, ask your questions. What are the possibilities? How could this turn out different? You know, but be the person that has faith and that knows everything is going to be okay. If you go down a rabbit hole and your mind gets bad and you start thinking these thoughts, just know you can change your mind. You've got the opportunity to change your mind and think about something else. Every 10 seconds, think about something different. Think about something good. You know, I've heard a saying before, you know, words turn into things, so choose the good ones. And so just be that person that's totally open-minded and totally willing to look at any point of view.
I agree. The power of the mind is something that a lot of people don't really take into account. You know, you get fed all this garbage on social media. I have like a whole marketing team, so I don't really post that much on social media actually. And you know, you'd be surprised how much you start to get glued, and then the algorithm just starts giving you all this crazy garbage in your mind. And the power of the mind is so important, and people wonder why they're, you know, not being so productive and really taking themselves to that next level where they want to be at. So I agree 100% with what you just said in terms of, you know, being positive, keep your mind moving. If there's something instilled in your head where it's negative, you know, just push it back and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, there's things that you can do, and questions you can ask yourself. My wife says something like, when you go down a rabbit hole, when your mind is thinking this or thinking that, and you don't, it's hard to get, you know, off of that train. But there's something you can ask yourself. You say, everything is the opposite as it appears to be. And then you also say nothing is the opposite as it appears to be.
I like that.
And it kind of scrambles your mind. It's I think she calls it the crazy phrase.
Yeah, no, that makes you think.
Everything's opposite as it appears to be, and nothing's the opposite as it appears to be. So that kind of can get you on track and think, you know what, I'm probably making this a lot worse than it really is, and do something different.
Absolutely, brother. Chess, I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next episode.